Greetings, YouTube shave fans, SuperCurve hunting fans, type 2 diabetes, rescued by keto fans, carnivore eating fans, the proper human diet. It is Bill here with a sip of coffee. Big mug. It is Sunday, March the 9th, the first day of the craziness of resetting the clocks. Spring forward, fall back. Gonna do a shave today for a couple of reasons. Partially because I'm shaving guy with shaving hobby. Got all these razors and look at this beard. The soap I'm using is E&S Citrus Fresh. I really like this. This is a tallow-based soap from France. It is one of the few tallow soaps that come from Europe these days. I just thought I'd like it. The smell is not citrusy all over, but kind of spicy, and I do like it. I did get this at the Spirit Shave. I did warm it up in my Scuttle. I'm going to do my hot towel thing, in spite of the fact that some people don't like the overload grease. I did use the rich man's pre-shave, the Proraso. So I am going to be folding this towel in half, trying not to burn myself. Let it chill a little bit. Once you start doing this, this is a treat that you hate to leave behind. I do think it has a tendency to help improve the shave, much the same as shaving more readily after you get out of the shower as opposed to waiting. So I've pre-made the lather in my Gary's Shaves Scuttle from, I yelled out for this, stevewoodheadpottery. I think that's correctly. On that, has an Etsy store, has this, I got the Mega Scuttle. I like this. It has enough water reserve to keep your lather warm for, even if you, like me, taking 30 minutes to do a shave. I'm using the, I think this is 198 Omega boar brush. Very inexpensive. I know, guys, that's all they use is low-cost boar brushes. I like a range of different brushes. I like to experience them. I'm not a big brush guy where I have to have 1,000,001 different brushes. And I'm trying to keep adding some water to this because I want to, I've come to be able to feel the wetness in the lather, to like that when I feel the wetness in the lather with a straight shave. So I am going to use a razor that I used, I think it was my last shave one video. I'm not sure. Where I did 3 of these. This is the Dovo Rundasaka. Okay, and this was originally honed up at the vendor I got it from, and this is one of the more challenging razors, I believe, to hone up. Let's see if you can see See, I think there you can see the bend in this, where it has a pronounced bend this way. And a lot of that follows through, and there was a little bit of a frown in this. Jared took some of it out. I took a little bit more out. My original goal was to see if I could have him hone a razor. I hone very similar to how he does. And then take two razors and shave with them with the same style of honing, and then see what kind of, as an experiment, to see what kind of change I could get with stropping. Okay, it didn't work out that way. It turns out that the one that I took with the factory edge was, believe it or not, the best factory edge that I've ever gotten. I don't know when and if I'm going to rehone it. Okay, but this one, I stropped it a little bit, and it didn't quite come in with the strop. So what I thought is I would go back to my default method, go back to a 4-foot wheel, a shorter curve, and put more of a back bevel into that. And then ultimately I wound up hitting the middle ground and hitting a little bit on the apex again. And ultimately I wound up finishing on the stone that I like to finish on the most, the Sahiro 20K, and then to the strops. And I do believe that this is, the blue handle one I originally honed. I believe if I did a side by side on that one, they'd be equal. They're basically done the same way. So I think I made a video. I know I made a video. Honing this shave piece. I'm going to see if I can edit it up and fit it on the end. If you're interested to see how I hone this, how I touched it up. And this was not who's the best honer, because the best honer should be you. You should figure out how you're going to sharpen your razors, and you should be the best there ever was, ever will be. Otherwise, you better keep hunting. And that is not to say, okay, that whatever it is you do, wherever it is you stop, you should just find stuff that you like. And there's a multitude of things, many things that I had not tried. And I see you guys with your J-Nats and that kind of stuff. And it looks like you're having so much fun. It makes me want to run out and buy a bunch of J-Nats and play with them. The difficulty is, never say never, but the difficulty is that most of my honing, it has become my belief that honing off of a curve serves me best. And half of the equation is the shape of the bevel, and the other half of the equation is the abrasive. But with a shaping of the bevel, going through a given refinement is not as critical, because as you move to a different curve, there's less area that needs refinement. And it is something that, a style that evolved for me. I tried to largely emulate the writings that were found in an ancient German grinder's handbook, where they discussed first step being curvy, moving to a next step less curvy at a finer abrasive, and progressing towards flatter, finer. I've not been terribly successful at the stage of flat with anything other than a strop, and I'll discuss some of that on this razor right here. And if you stay on and watch the honing, I didn't catch it too terribly well on the video, but it was something I did see, and it was quite astonishing, because I don't think I'd ever seen anything bent up in such a way, and been able to observe the particular action that I was seeing. Okay, so many of you know that my other hobby, in addition to shaving, is picking on the bludgeon and beat down shave form, that form where they know everything about straight razors. And the gang of moderatoritas at the Badger and Blade will tell you, do not use a curved hone. That is not how you do it. And what you need to do is need to get a double-edged razor blade, and you need a blade sampler pack. So, because some razors like some blades more than some blades like some, and that's to the extent of their logic, okay? And there was a thread recently, it's been kind of quiet, but it talked about convex hones. And the only person I think that really ever even participates over there anymore, I don't know, a couple of guys might, okay, and talk about convex hones, but generally speaking, you can, if you are an advocate of my style of honing, you can be assured that there's going to be some dingbat in the wings to give you a beatdown. Okay, so, and I put the picture in there, and this is something I've shown before. I've actually made a video of this. Okay, this is a convex hone and razor strop combined. Okay, this is from Civil War era. Okay, here's the instructions on it. And you can search my channel if you want to see the exposure of this. 1843. Okay, and what this was and is, okay, is a little different than the patent. I did look up the patent, and I've shown the patent in the video where I did this. But you have this kind of curve. Okay, and this is some sort of a composite with an abrasive in there, and then you have three stropping surfaces that are flat. Okay, presumably you would take the stropping compound, which I guess this is like a jeweler's rouge or an iron oxide or something, and you would put that on there. Okay, now, and this is no longer functional. Okay, but it's actually remarkably well kept for being pushing 200 years old. Okay, and okay, so one of the brains over there on the most recent convex honing thread. Oh, and if you're sensitive and you can't handle me making fun of somebody who is really not the sharpest knife in the drawer, change his channel. Okay, so this windbag, slice of shit or slice of life or whatever he goes on, and you know, and he's just one of them. I was gonna actually print them up like I've done in the past and put the text and all that and make fun of them because how stupid they are. Okay, but this guy implies, okay, that with a surface like this, okay, that you will create a convexity in the edge because you're going to come along and you're going to come along and you're going to come along and you're going to run into this, and that's what it's going to do. Okay, now you can see the problem with that, okay, is that when he did this in his expertise, the damn guy forgot to put the spine down on the stone, and he started honing like he was doing like this, and that will obviously do a convex on that. But even if he did not, okay, if you can envision how, okay, so even, and these are relative curves, okay, but if you got a curve like this, okay, where's my example? Okay, so anybody want to tell me, okay, that if you were to braid this, how would this be convexing without pressuring? Okay, would not happen. So if the slice of shit or piece of shit or slice of life or whatever wants to get on YouTube and argue that with me over here on YouTube, he's welcome to come to my channel. He's welcome to get a YouTube channel. He's welcome to make a video and show us all how smart he is and how we need to all abide by the moderatoritas and the smart people over at the Bludgeon and Beatdown Shave Forum and do as we're told. So he's welcome to come over and have this discussion with me. Unfortunately, I was talking about this, I'm knowledgeable about this, and you can go look at my posts. They're all still there. They haven't taken my posts down, okay? And you could see the thread, there were comments about how controversial this is. Well, I'm going to tell you that the controversy comes from the moderatoritas, and you go look, and if anybody needs to, I can show the thread, okay, where the chief moderatorita, the admiral who loves his supper, came after me, and he started a bunch of shit. Okay, so I kind of responded in a gentlemanly fashion within the terms of service of there, but they are allowed. That is a money-making scheme. Okay, the Bludgeon and Beatdown is a money-making scheme, and they can throw you off of there anytime they want for any reason. And okay, so if I want to talk about what I do, you can't talk about it over there because they tell you no, you can't talk about that. So anyhow, okay, so going from memory, this is shaving better than the green one was with the factory edge. Oh, huge deal for two of you people, and you heard it here first. And this, I don't believe this is gonna. I put one in my cart and I decided not to because I already have one Dovo Masters. Okay, the razor of the Dovo Masters is obsolete. And I bought mine online because I wanted I thought it was, because it was listed as a stainless steel. I wanted one of the original the original Dovo Masters from the stainless steel blank. Okay, because the original ones were 6/8 blank, similar to this in that it was a shoulderless thing, but it was the tang and the shank were straight out rather than being the thumb notch one, and it was stainless, and I wanted one, and it was listed new old stock, and that's what I thought it was, and it was new old stock. It was the factory seal was intact, but mine was not mine was the carbon steel. So if you're interested in one of those at a really, really good price, okay, and this is why I almost bought one, okay, but it's like, how many razors do I need doubles of, okay, just because they might be collector's items in the next generation. Jared has two of them, $99, okay, and he usually his price includes shipping, so $99, and it shows up in your door within a week. Okay, it's a 6/8. If you want him to hone it, he'll hone that for you. You could hone it yourself. I do think it's a very good deal. Despite the fact that I'm going to pick on Dovo in a little bit again. But I actually might pick on the Forge more so than Dovo. But anyhow, two of you can be the lucky ones who listen to me and decide you want to spend. You got $100 that's burning a hole in your pocket that you want to buy a nice shave piece with. Okay, that will hold its value. Okay, and I'm not gonna say that Dovo 6/8 razors don't at times have little warps in them. Okay, but you can hone around them. Okay. And if you can't, get a hold of me, and I'll own the thing for free for two of you. So, in regards to the blanks coming out of Germany, I've looked and I keep doing my research. So why does this kind of thing keep happening? A lot of people characteristically define Dovo by this type of thing because they produce more German razors than anybody else. Period. Okay, that may change. I don't really know. So, occurrences of the defects that are outside of their four walls, okay, which they could reject and throw them away, okay, but these defects are created by the Hugo Herkenrath Forge. Look it up, okay? If you want to sell a razor that says, just like this one does, I don't know if you can see it, but if you want to put Zollingen on that, it has to be forged there in Zollingen, okay? So, and there's one forge. So, and I've got razors from Dovo that are straight. I've got razors that are bent. I have a whacker and it's got a bend in it. I have one Boker. I think I only have one Boker. But I've honed a number of them, and they were pretty. The geometry was pretty straight on those. And got a Ralph Faust. The Ralph Faust is bendy. The Whacker is bendy. A couple of the Dovos are bendy. The problem is the forge. Okay, I mean, you know, and I'm gonna pick on you, razor forgers. I know you forge a bunch of stuff, and I know it's a filthy, dirty job, and it's a manual thing, and all that kind of stuff. But you guys have nothing left of the craftsmanship in the days of old. You guys are just cranking out shit. And these poor guys that are making razors in their basement in these one-man operations and that kind of stuff, trying to carve out a living, okay, they're catching the guff. From your sloppy handiwork. And yeah, I think it's sloppy. Now, here's proof that I can hone around that. And this, like most thinly ground German crafted ground razors that I have used are very, very thinly ground. And in spite of Hugo Herkenrath and your blind ass guy sitting there in quality control, whacking with his white stick, beating on the blanks as they come out of the forge, and said, "Looks okay to me." Okay, well, maybe you should pick it up. Oh, that's right, it's hot. It'll burn your fingers. And no worries, because you got a captive market. They have to buy your shit. So there's my rant on the Hugo Herkenrath forge. So, and I think I did just say about grinding the thinness. And when I fixed this one, this was very, very interesting. Something I'm sure I've experienced, but I've not quite seen as good of an illustration as this particular razor. In terms of steel flexing. So that's a good shave. That's a really good shave. I'm gonna do a little bit of a touch up right there. Just some water. Got me on my So one of the things that I like is I like a really, really thin ground razor. This is that, okay? And to fix this, I might have taken a little bit more of the smile out. I know for a fact that it's Jared's philosophy that you want to grind away as little of the business end of a razor as you can get away with, okay? And he knows that the bludgeon and beatdown specialists judge how much wear is on a razor by what the spine looks like. Okay, and if you tape the spine, you can grind the living shit out of the business end of the razor, grind all the thinness off of it. Okay, and nobody will know it unless they actually have a measurement against what that blank was originally supposed to be, or originally was. So, and I hone without tape. I have to, because my whole process is without tape. I'm not opposed to tape. It's just that I don't like tape because I finish on an abrasive charged strop, and tape leaves shit all over there that I don't like. So let me see if, I'm not so sure if you'll be able to pick it up. Okay, but there is on the hone guide, like say, you can almost see a little bit of a flat and a shiny up there, and a little bit, I don't know if that side's showing it too well, but they would judge, well, this has hone wear, okay? And I don't consider this excessive hone wear, and there's still a little bit of a frown in this, okay? But, and I've taken some of it out because when I went back and deepened the back bevel as I typically do, and then did a middle curve, okay? So I deepened the back part of the bevel, which actually on less curvy stones actually gives it a little bit more clearance, okay, on the next stone to get a little bit further out. So you have this little bit of clearance that you're cutting back away, okay? And it's almost immeasurable, okay? It doesn't take long to go back and forth between the different curves, okay? But it does, as you go back and forth between the different curves, make reaching out to the edge a little bit easier, okay? So I'm gonna use some orange chill menthol made by the Witches of Hazel and their friend Al at Sterling Soap Company, because I like this stuff. If you want citrus, stuff like that, Sterling is, they definitely rock it, okay? So I've used that. So in terms of, I'm gonna let that dry down without the fancy fan thing. I gotta get me one of them fancy fans there, Gary. Actually, I think it's Chuck Shaves who started that. Okay, when I took this and I honed it and I got it to where I was doing the packing peanut to my liking, okay, the final, and I do see a difference, and I think in my video I tried to show it, where as I go through the steps, I'm sensing a difference in each step in how much resistance I get in cutting into a packing peanut. And I have two strops that are flat. Actually, I did use a third one, and we'll go on that. But on the leather, okay, I'm stropping on the leather, okay, and this is flat, so I'm stropping like this, okay, on the leather, okay, and I noticed a very, very interesting thing that I would not see if I was stropping on, where usually I'm stropping on a curved surface, okay, I'm stropping, I would not see it, but on flat, I did see that, okay, that this blade does not lay flat on a flat strop, that the one side there is a distinct bowing up. On the other side, I'm assuming it bows this way, but less noticeable, okay? And then on stropping on that leather, okay, I had to get full contact all the way across the blade on flat. I usually don't use too much torque on that, but I had to torque a little bit. I had to torque a little bit more than I ordinarily would have to bring that steel. And it was amazing to see that the distance that was there, and I don't know how much distance that was back from the edge, but that would actually, it would actually flex into the flatness of that strop. It's pretty, a pretty rigid backed roost drop, and I was actually, it's just the first time that I've ever seen that. And one of the advantages that has been discussed in many ways on convex honings is that you're hollowing the bevel and you are creating a situation where the bevel itself can flex a little bit, okay, without creating a stress. Okay, you don't want to create a stress on the apex. You just, you maybe want it to flex in here a little bit, but you don't want to create a foil or a fin that is, you're bending back and forth on a lot of different things. So that was interesting to see that, and that's a very good shaving razor. Okay, so if you are interested in good shaving razors, do think about buying thinly ground razors and learn how to hone them. And I'm not saying you could not do this on flat by whatever taping or whatever, or different stones or whatever. It's just, for me, this is how I have found to resolve this. So in along with some of the spices in the, I don't smell them too much anymore because I got the orange witches of hazel on there. I'm going to use Detonate, which I think this was a homage to, I forget who made it, but Spice Bomb aftershave. Okay, and I think this is one of those ones that it's kind of a dress up kind of a smell. You might want to, on an outing. It's not an overpowering. If somebody has a sensitivity to perfumey type things, they might have a problem with this. But it's a very gentlemanly aroma, and I do like that. Okay, so and then I'm going to finish off. I've gone way over, and then if I'm going to hone on, tie in the honing afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to use the Peck Sniffs England grapefruit and citron, and the can came all buckled in when it got shipped to me. I don't know where it came from. Powder. Okay. And I said something, when I smelled this, I expected to smell a fruity type of thing. And what I said this before, and people said, ew, I had that in my car. I was going to buy that, and I didn't. Because I sense a smell, like a smell that I would smell, and many of you know that I'm in the printing business, and I used to be in the ink and coatings business, and I would go into places that put inks on just about anything, including vinyl type things like swimming pool liners and shower curtains and stuff. And this has a smell like I used to smell in those vinyl places. And I said, and I made the comment that smells like a shower curtain. And when people heard that, they decided, oh, I'm not buying that. You're not going to walk around smelling like a shower curtain. But it is kind of an interesting powder that, I think I put some of that in one of my powder cans. So this is Bill, That's a Shave. Thanks for listening to me rant on. If you're friends with the Bludgeon and Beatdown Shave Forum, and your friends keep saying about whatever, just tell them I invite them. I invite them to make a YouTube, open up a YouTube channel, and tell me where I'm wrong. They won't. And actually, a couple of the guys who had commented negatively on my channel, when this one guy asked about a convex stone, they even had the balls to say, well, you should try it. Okay, well, for somebody who doesn't know how to hone, to say, try it, okay, and then have to listen to a bunch of people that have never tried it on how to use it, okay, that's a formula for disaster. Okay, but the guy did get like a shaped Arkansas stone for about $30. I think it was a translucent arc. So look at me slicing up my neck. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Follow along if you want to see the honing on that. I'm probably going to put it on up speed and narrate it over it. So those of you who want to review my honing method, you can do so. If you had any particular interest in this, I did a video on it. Google up or search up on YouTube antique convex hone or antique Civil War convex hone, something like that, and it'll come up, and it'll tell you. I'll show you the sheets with the patent and all that kind of stuff. And the reason I bought that is because it was a good price, and because there are so many experts, and they will tell you that they are the experts that tell you that convex honing was invented by this crazy guy trying to sell razors in Florida. Okay, and that's not at all true. This proves that it goes back to the mid 1800s. Okay, and it probably goes back to even before then. So there's the evidence. Okay, and they're usually pretty quiet when they say, we've been doing this for 200 years and you're doing it wrong just because, it's like, dude, give it up. Okay, let people sharpen their shit how they want to sharpen their shit. So folks, have a great weekend. Stay sharp. Well, if you're hanging on this long, you're wanting to see how the honing went on this. I first did the check, and I'm just not, I can get it going into the sides and the corner a little bit, but I'm just not getting the ease of going full length. I'm going to check it a little bit. Try with a bison strop. Might have helped it a little bit. Certainly not enough, because I'm going to jump to chromium oxide and see if the chromium oxide helps it out a little bit. And at this point, I'm deciding I'm just not liking that. I'm going to have to jump to the stones. There's a little bit closer, how you can see it kind of going in a little bit on the edge. That's a particular problem right there, that 3/4 of the way out to the edge. My first step is going to be on the 4-foot wheel shape, lily white, Ouachita stone. The lube I'm going to use is 25% ballistol mixed with water. And I'm going to deepen the back bevel a whole lot on that. Particular attention given to the curvature of that blade, how one side I need to focus a little bit more into the center, and the other side I need to focus, and right there I'm focusing on that blind spot. So there's that curvature. So I got to focus in the middle there, and on the other side I curves up, so I'm focusing on the toe and the heel. And you can see how I'm digging up some stuff there. And those longer strokes like that are more finishing type strokes to blend the focused work that I got on there. And I'm using a rolling action. I tried to illustrate that there. Took a look at the glass, thought it was okay.
and no sense in doing the packing peanut. That stone is a translucent arc, and you'll see that I'll do the rocking motion with that as well. Same lube as on the lily white Washita Ballistol with water. And I'm reaching back out towards the edge. I know I'm hitting the edge on this one just because I know how it was honed originally, and I'm just doing a touch up on it. I sped up the videos to 2x and cut them down a little bit. Sometimes it can be pretty boring just sitting there watching a guy rub a razor on a rock. Into the side. I'm still not liking that area right there. Especially not with the long dimension on the peanut. But I have seen where the strop would pick it up, and that strop is, all these strops are shaped on the Jared plate. 6-foot wheel across, 25-foot wheel on the long dimension, and I use a rolling stroke routinely. If you slow this down, you could even see the bendiness. You might be able to pick it up there, the bendiness of that razor. And I'm feeling something on the toe right there. I pointed to that. I wanted to see if I could pull that out with a strop. I'm not liking that area. So I'm going to do what I tell people to do a lot in convex honing. Don't be afraid to jump back and forth on your different curves, because it is not like a standard honing progression. Your progression moves from particular contact on the bevel in a specific shape to a different contact on the bevel with a different shape and a different abrasive. You do blend them somewhat. I'm still focusing on that area on the toe where I found that hanging on the strop. I'm going to blend in. This is a middle curve. This is 6-foot wheel on the long dimension of the stone. 24-foot wheel going across. And there may be some roughness in there that's taking out as well. That conical is in the longest dimension. Wheel going on the long dimension there, 24-foot wheel with a 6-foot wheel going across. Put a little slurry on there. I'm liking the stone more and more over the Arkansas for getting out to the bevel faster and taking out, removing a little bit more metal than faster than I get on the arcs. You can kind of see how I worked that one area on the toe that had some stuff that needed to come out. And I'm jumping back again to do some more back beveling. I may have felt some roughness in there that I thought I'd want to take out. When I'm ultimately done with that 4-foot Washita Lily White, it's usually moving the razor across that stone. It's usually pretty smooth. And then when I jump back to one of the finer stones, I'm looking to find that I don't have a whole lot of little gritty things that you could feel in there. Check on the packing peanut, getting a little bit, that's still a bit of a problem, kind of right in there. So I pull that cuticle back out again. I want to get out to the edge on that. I didn't actually look at a glass to see what it was, but I'm sure if I put that under the scope, I probably would have seen that one area that didn't cut into that peanut too well. I could have picked that up, something in there. Here I'm using the Ballistol water mix as the lubricant, and there I'm doing the cantering the angle to blend in the different curvatures in the bevel, with that stone being a deeper curve going across. As you angle it, you move the contact back ever so slightly away from the apex. And then if you're at 90 degrees to that stone, you are at the maximum reach of what that stone can do. And there I am, my packing peanut, checking it again. That was close enough to jump to my final finisher. This is my favorite stone for finishing. I just have not. The closest thing to it was my Nano at 12K, but once I got this, it's like I just didn't really use the Nano at 12K anymore. This puts such a high degree of a polish, and you can literally see under a glass or a scope how you get a polish very, very close from the apex back. And you can see the different abrasions. I'm using water with a little bit of Dawn in it as the lubricant there. You're supposed to wet these stones or submerge them in the beginning. They will absorb water. And I think you're going to see on the ending of this, there's a marked difference in the performance of that edge in the packing peanut. Even in that trouble area, it just goes right in with wise going across there. And that's the clue for me to move to the strops. I'm going to go through my strop progression. This is the standard strop progression I always use, chromium oxide. All those balsa strops are shaped on the Jared plate, crosswise on the 6-foot dimension, lengthwise on the 24-foot dimension. And I do check in between every step, and I look for some sort of a gain. If I'm not getting a gain, I'll drop back to one of the other abrasives. That's also a Dovo paste right there. That's the iron oxide Dovo, and that'll be followed up by the other one that comes in the set. And I say Dovo because I think a couple of them actually had the Dovo name. Well, it's a Herald from the Herald, German Herald Solingen, makes drops and that kind of stuff. This is the black paste that goes in. It's like a wax-based crayon. And then this is the last one where you have a binder in the stropping compounds that I'm using. Those are CBN there and on out. The CBN is an emulsion. You have to shake it before you apply it. Otherwise, it kind of settles out. That's 1.5 micron particle size. Just kind of going in. Double checking that area out towards the toe again. That's half micron CBN. CBN, I find, does not leave the harshness that you can pick up with diamond. I've tried, and I have diamond abrasives in those same sizes. And one of the common complaints with diamond is that they are a little bit harsh. I can see it. If If I didn't have CBN, I'm not so sure I could notice the difference, but since I have the both, I've been able to tell the difference. Then I jump from half micron to quarter micron. Again, each time I like to get an improvement. That's the final one on balsa, 10th micron. And I like to make sure I'm getting a good balanced contact on that. You can see how easy that goes in. This is something new I've been doing where I got this a long time ago, this nanocloth drop with the 10th micron CBN on it. It's mounted on glass, so it's pretty flat. And I'm actually, you could see that was a marked improvement over the same abrasive on balsa. And I'm using that more and more. This is my favorite strop, rue, leather. This is where I talked about in the shave about some of the bow going across the blade and how I actually had to, that's right where I'm seeing it, where I'm seeing because of that bow, that I have to actually torque into that a little bit. There's almost no other way to do it. You can use X strokes or whatever, but a little bit of torque there, and you can see the flex. Is the flex in the grind of the blade or in my honing? Maybe a little bit of both. After the rue, this is my final strop. This is a little faster. This is some kind of a leather. It's faster than rue. I like it. It does seem to add a polish to it, and just kind of goes right in. I'll even take a new peanut and go the long way on the peanut. So that's how I fix this thing up. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week.